Imagine your mind is a cup. If it is already full of old tea, how can you taste the new tea? We live in a world that tells us to add more knowledge, add more strategies, add more worries, add more possessions. We think that abundance means accumulation. But what if the reason you are stuck, the reason you are anxious, the reason you cannot create anything new, is not because you have too little? What if it is because you have too much? Today, we will learn the ancient empty mug principle. We will follow the journey of Julian, a brilliant architect who built a prison out of his own ideas, until a simple cup of tea shattered his reality and set him free. Julian was a genius. 10 years ago, he designed the tallest skyscraper in the city. He was the golden boy of architecture. But for the last 5 years, silence, he hadn't designed a single building. Every morning, he sat at his desk, desperate to create something new. He had thousands of ideas. He knew every architectural style, every theory, every material. His mind was a library of brilliance. But whenever he tried to draw, he froze. "It's not good enough," he would whisper. "It has to be better than my last work. It has to be perfect." Julian was suffering from what psychologists call cognitive rigidity. His mind was so full of his past success, his reputation, and his rigid rules about how things should be, that there was zero space for creativity to breathe. He was a hoarder, but he didn't hoard newspapers or cats. He hoarded his own ego. One evening, his business partner, Sarah, walked in. She looked at the chaos. "Julian," she said softly, "you are drowning. You need to see Master Ren." "Ren?" Julian scoffed. "The old guy who lives in the forest. What does he know about modern architecture? He lives in a wooden hut." "He doesn't know architecture," Sarah said. "He knows structure. The structure of the mind. Go, or we lose the firm." Julian climbed the mountain, cursing the mud, cursing Sarah, cursing the rain. He arrived at a small, modest hut. It was simple. Clean. Minimalist. Master Ren opened the door. He was a small man with eyes that seemed to contain the ocean. He didn't bow. He didn't ask for an autograph. He just opened the door. "I am Julian," Julian announced, expecting recognition. "The architect, I am Ren," the master said. "Come in. You look wet." They sat down. Ren began to boil water. Silence filled the room, but Julian couldn't handle the silence. He began to talk. "So, look, I have a creative block. I have designed the biggest towers. You know, I have so many ideas, but I can't connect them. I need a new strategy. I need a breakthrough. I've read all the books. I've tried meditation apps. Nothing works. I think I need to add a new layer of complexity to my designs. Julian talked for 20 minutes. He talked about his awards, his theories, his problems, his enemies. He filled the room with his voice. Master Ren didn't say a word. He just smiled and prepared the teacups. "Tea?" Ren asked. "Yes, sure, but listen," Julian continued. "My problem is that the market is changing, and I need to... Ren began to pour the tea. The hot, green liquid filled the cup. It reached the brim. But Ren didn't stop. He kept pouring. The tea spills over the edge of the cup. It splashes onto the saucer, then onto the wooden table. Then it drips onto Julian's expensive trousers. "Stop!" Julian shouted, jumping up. "What are you doing? Are you blind? The cup is full. It can't hold any more." Ren stopped pouring. He placed the teapot down gently. He looked at the mess on the table. Then he looked deep into Julian's eyes. "Exactly," Ren said. His voice was like a stone dropping into a deep well. "You are like this cup, Julian," Ren continued. "You are full of your own opinions, your own speculations, your own ego, and your past glory. You came here asking for wisdom, but you have no room to receive it. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup? Julian stared at the spilled tea. He realized Ren wasn't just talking about politeness. He was talking about physics. Two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. In neuroscience, there is a concept called synaptic pruning. For a brain to learn new things, it must destroy old connections. It's not just about building. It's about deleting. If you hold on tightly to who I was yesterday, you cannot become who I might be tomorrow. We often think that experience is an asset, but sometimes experience is a trap. It creates functional fixedness, the inability to see a new use for something because you are too fixated on its traditional use. So, double quotes, Julian whispered. How do I empty it? Ren handed him a cloth. Start by cleaning up the mess. Emptying the cup is painful. It feels like losing a part of yourself. Julian went back to his office. He didn't start drawing. Instead, he started deleting. He took down the posters of his old awards. He threw away the models of the projects that were never built. He cleaned his desk until there was nothing on it but a single white sheet of paper and a pencil. He stopped calling himself the great architect. He allowed himself to be a beginner again. A rookie dot, an empty vessel. By letting go of the need to be the best, he found the freedom to be creative. 6 months later, Julian designed a library. It wasn't a tall skyscraper. It was a low, open building made of glass and wood, designed to let light in. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever made. Critics called it a breath of fresh air. They asked him, "Where did you find the inspiration?" Julian smiled and held up a cup of tea. "I didn't find it. I made space for it. Now, look at your own life. Are you unhappy? Are you anxious? Are you stuck? Look at your cup. Is it full? Is it full of I should be further ahead by now? Is it full of they treated me unfairly? Is it full of I am always right? You are holding on to these things as if they are gold, but they are just stale tea. They have gone cold. They are bitter. You are terrified that if you let go, you will be empty. You will be nothing. But the utility of a cup comes from its emptiness. If it is not empty, it cannot be used. Don't be afraid of the void. The void is where the creation happens. Pour it out. Let it go. Wash the cup. Only then can life pour something new, something warm, and something sweet into you. Here is your challenge for this week. Identify one thing, one belief, one grudge, or one habit that is filling your cup but not serving you, and consciously let it go. Tell me in the comments, what are you letting go of today? Type I am ready to receive if you are brave enough to empty your cup. Subscribe for more wisdom. And remember, keep your mind open.